Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told how to host the radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a pair of new supporters. It's Klara and Avery. Yeah, that's right. Those ones from the Isle of Armor, they are coming to the Pokémon trading card game, and we know that this new set has some real Isle of Armor vibes. They are really bringing the DLC in. So this is very, very cool. Obviously, our translations come from the lovely Antoine Boulet. I'm assuming by now you probably guessed this. And we're going to start with Klara, because she's a gym leader I faced in the DLC. What we've got here is a supporter card that reads, choose up to 2 Pokemon and up to 2 basic energy from your discard pile, show them to your opponent, and put them into your hand. You may also choose to take only Pokemon or only basic energy. And if we look at this, it's going to seem incredibly similar to a card that we've already seen and we've had in the game for a little while. It's Ordinary Rod. Well, how is it Ordinary Rod as a supporter when we've already got Ordinary Rod as an item card? And the answer is this goes to your hand. And make no mistake about it, there is a gigantic difference in going to your hand and going to the deck. When it goes into the deck, those cards are available to use in the future. So we're good. But, I mean, let's take an example from my boy Excadrill, because I love playing me some Excadrill. I'm playing an Excadrill deck, and I have lost multiple games because I had one Drillbur and my opponent KO'd it. Now, in many of those games, what I would essentially do is I would use an Ordinary Rod to put the Drillbur back into my deck, and then I'd play something like Professor's Research to try and draw them. Or I'd use my Cinccino to try and draw them. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, Ordinary Rod has essentially done nothing and I've lost the game. That's where Klara comes in here. The entire point of Klara is basically, look, yes, you're essentially getting a item card effect on a supporter, but you're getting it guaranteed now. Obviously, there are many, many games where you could play Ordinary Rod, then play Professor's Research, and you get the cards you would have gotten with Klara, plus a bunch of others, and you're in a way better position than you were. That is absolutely going to happen. But it's not guaranteed. And Klara is here for those games where you need it guaranteed. Bearing in mind, of course, when we're getting Pokemon with Klara, we can get Dedenne to discard our hand and draw 6 cards. We can get Crobat to draw until we've got 6 cards in our hand. We can draw more cards. So when I'm saying that Klara gives this to you at the expense of drawing with another supporter, that is true, but it's not the whole story, because this can get you the Pokemon you need, the energy you need, and it can get you a Dedenne or a Crobat to go ahead and start drawing some extra cards. That's what I really like about Klara here. I love the fact that there are going to be times where you just need Pokemon and energy and you're golden, and this will do it. And I love the fact that we've got good draw Pokemon around at the moment so that we can essentially take advantage of this. Because when we're looking at supporters like this, we're always thinking, alright, but it's not drawing me any cards. Something like Brock's Grit is a great example. Now, in terms of recovery, Brock's Grit is a far better card, because Brock's Grit will get you 6 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy. So you're getting 4 rather than 6, but it's not just that you're getting 4 rather than 6 for Klara, because Brock, you can get all 6 energy or all 6 Pokemon, you can do as you will. Klara, it's only 2 of each. But Klara gets them into your hand now, and if one of them is something like a Crobat, then you can start drawing cards, which is brilliant. It is also up to, so if you just need 1 Pokemon and 1 energy, then grab a Pokemon, an energy, and something like a Crobat, play the Pokemon and energy, then play the Crobat to draw extra cards. You can get the second energy, obviously, but then your hand will be gummed up a little bit. I really like this. I like it as a one-off, but the thing is, at the moment, I mean, pre-rotation, we've got Mewtwo. We'll put a supporter from your discard pile on top of your deck, and then you use Oranguru to draw it straight away, while putting another card on top of your deck from your hand. And post-rotation, we've got Eldegoss. An Eldegoss is kind of cool. And look, I know nobody really wants to Eldegoss for a Klara to grab a Pokemon and an energy and then to Dedenne or Crobat. I know all of this, alright? Obviously, post-rotation, we won't have Dedenne. But Klara isn't a card you're going to use every turn. Klara is a card where you're basically sat there going, man, if I can just get this one Pokemon and this one energy, I win the game. Or I need a Pokemon, an energy, and a Vitality Band, and I win the game. And Klara is going to be good for getting that stuff. I think you've pretty much got to combine it with one of these draw Pokemon to really get the most out of it. But we've got those draw Pokemon, so I'm going to give this 4 Wassies. I really like this card. I think this is a really cool card. I don't really think many people are going to be playing it as a 4 of, but as a 1 or 2 of, to save you in the late game, this is brilliant. In a world where Brock's Grit has seen a whole bunch of play, I see this being a very, very good card. And like pretty much every card I've looked at in the past couple of days, I could see this being a, well, an unfairly low score by the time all is said and done. And then we've got Avery, and there's a chance that Avery might even actually be a little bit better. What we've got from Avery here is a supporter card, shockingly, that says draw 3 cards, then your opponent discards their benched Pokemon until they have 3 benched Pokemon remaining. So you draw 3 cards, and your opponent gets limited to 3 benched Pokemon. And look, the drawing 3 cards isn't particularly amazing. We've already got Hop that draws you 3 cards, which doesn't see much play at all. But we've also got Birdkeeper Toby that lets you draw 3 cards while switching and does see a whole bunch of play. We've seen a bunch of cards that draw 3 and something else. This is another one of them. But it restricts your opponent's bench. And the fact of the matter is, and you know how I roll on these videos, right? I like to look at the past, I like to show previous cards to draw parallels. And what I'm going to do right now is show you a bunch of cards that we have had in the past that restrict your bench space, and you're going to go, oh, they were really good. Parallel City, a stadium card that limited one of the 2 players to only having 3 bench spaces, saw a huge amount of play and a huge amount of decks. I could tell you about the Roadblock Sudowoodo that limited your opponent to only having 4 bench spaces. Basically, it just got rid of one of them. And that saw a huge amount of play and was a really good card. I could tell you about Belelba and Bryson Man. Now, Belelba and Bryson Man obviously got banned, but it got banned for the milling, because it discarded 3 cards on the top of each player's deck. But when Belelba and Bryson Man got banned, an awful lot of people were rather upset. Basically going, well, hang on a second, how is this fair? We want to be able to use Belelba and Bryson Man to limit our opponent's bench, and now we can't do so, and boo! Well, great news, ladies and gentlemen. Now you've got Avery, and again, I said a moment ago, what we end up seeing all the time is these situations where you want to play this other supporter, but you really want to draw cards as well. Well, this is an other supporter in that it restricts your opponent's bench, but it lets you draw cards as well. And as far as I'm concerned, this is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to look at this and go, oh, Eternatus. Because Eternatus does 30 damage for each bench Pokemon it's got. Remember, it can have 8 bench Pokemon as long as it only plays Darkness. In fact, that's a lie. Eternatus does 30 for each Darkness Pokemon in play, active or bench. But then we saw Mega Rayquaza a little while ago, which again did 30 damage for each of your bench Pokemon. That one was actually for each of your bench Pokemon. And incidentally, this is one of the things that made Sudowoodo really popular. Sudowoodo was a great Mega Rayquaza counter. We've got little things coming along, you know, these new Rapid Strike cards. One of the things we're actually seeing is a few of these, like Phalanx, for instance. Phalanx comes along and does 20 damage for each of your Rapid Strike Pokemon in play, so restricting their bench is actually going to kind of hurt that as well if that's the route they're going down. We do also incidentally have an Urshifu, a Rapid Strike Urshifu, which is pretty much the same, except it's a stage 1 and it's 30 times, and those kind of decks are not going to like this. Oh, Cyrus. There we go. Cyrus. I forgot about Cyrus Prism Star. I meant to mention that one. Cyrus Prism Star was a card that a lot of people forgot about, and actually ended up being really good, because if your active Pokemon was Water or Metal, your opponent went down to 2 benched Pokemon, which was brilliant. And if you ever played against somebody, and it didn't really make its way into big decks because it wasn't really an option at the time, but if you played against these kind of rogue decks playing this, you had it played against you and you realised how annoying it was. My point is, these kind of cards are always good. And that doesn't mean that they are going to be played by everybody. It does not mean that they're going to be a 1 or 2 of in every single deck. It means that there are a whole bunch of players around that are going to want to put this in their deck. There are a bunch of decks that are going to be countered by this, which is going to make people want to put this into their deck. You see where I'm going with this? I love this. I'm a huge fan. I'm giving it 4 Wossies again. And once again, I could easily give this 5 Wossies. I think it's a really good card. I think it's one that a whole bunch of people are going to want to play. And I think it's one that is going to make an impact. As for Eternatus, we've already seen that Galarian Zapdos is going to destroy Eternatus. But just in case it doesn't, now we've got this as well. But I want to know what you think about these 2 supporter cards, ladies and gentlemen. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.